Hey, everybody, smash the like button.
Boom. What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing well. My goodness, it has been far too long since we've done one of these, but obviously the conference season was in full swing. But that's it for now, man. I don't think there's anything going on until potentially an announcement with the Bitcoin conference going on over in Hong Kong later this summer. But for now, we are at home. We are chilling. Mike Lowry, what is up, my brother? Carrie in the crowd as well over on the space. We got some people joining the live stream over on X. So appreciate you guys. Make sure that you hit that heart, smash that like button, repost the video, tag some friends, say, hey, we about to have a good show. Again, we are running a space. So if you do want to join the stage and hang out and be part of the conversation, please, by all means, come on and join us and be a part of that. You can find me at JChains X over on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. It doesn't matter to me. It is all the same. So we are back. Had a great week in New York. 2 conferences running simultaneously. I will tell you, it was interesting. Always interesting. New York is always an interesting place for the conferences just because of how spread out it is and where things are. So what we had going on was permissionless over in Brooklyn at a pretty cool venue called Industry City. If you've not had an opportunity to check that out at all, look at it online. It's very, very Brooklyn, I would set up. I would say that the layout of the conference was a little bit different than normal, which is okay. A little bit different, but still fun. A lot of great speakers, a lot of great people there, great networking. You know, it was not your typical, you go into a conference hall where there's, booths, and you go talk to people and you do that kind of stuff. Again, it was set up a little differently, which has its probably some, some good and bad points to it. But at the end of the day, very intimate networking at both conferences. NFT NYC was probably the smallest I had ever seen it in all my years going to it, but that doesn't mean anything. I just, the where we're at in the phase of NFTs, because that is retail centric. We know that completely. Not quite there at the moment. So, there was still there was still good people and good networking and good events and all that stuff. But I would tell you, much like in years past at NFT NYC, and they do that at the Marriott Marquis in Times Square, which is a massive place. There's usually lines out the door, the lines to get into the art section, in years. You just funny how you go through like this the phases of this hotel where there's nothing going on. There was no activity, but I did get to see some friends that I have either not met but have known for years or have not seen in a while. So I appreciate every single one of you that we had the opportunity to connect in New York City. What a great time. Speaking of, now I knew this guy was in New York. I knew he was coming for the events. We hadn't had an opportunity to link. And I would go in through my Luma. Luma's the app that we do, all the RSVPs for the networking events and stuff. And I had gone through and I had picked a gaming specific one. It was like Nintendo 64, Mario Kart or Mario Party, whatever. And I specifically RSVP'd for that one because I thought I'm going to meet my guy Mike there, the modern Canadian, because I know he's in town. We hadn't had a chance to link up yet, but that's a gaming one. So I'm like, we're going with it. Before that, though, was a different party, a different networking opportunity. And so I walk in, go downstairs, and this is the good vibes. This was a great, great organization, what they're doing. A lot of cool people there, but I go downstairs, and not only is my guy Mike there, but Mikkel's there, and Wes is there. The whole Cock Media team was there, so we had a chance to kick it and connect, and that was amazing. And here's the funny thing. I had put a picture in the W3BC degen chat group on my way to the event because I came out this subway and walked by this place. It was a pizza place called Prince Street Pizza, and there's about 40 people, 50 people outside eating slices, waiting for theirs, all that stuff. And I said to myself, I'm going to stop there after this event and get myself a slice. I took a picture, sent it to the group, yada, yada, yada. Lo and behold, the pizza that was at that party was Prince Street. So Mike and I got to share a slice. We got to do what we intended. And that was a fun time. My guy, Mike, how are you, brother? GM.
Yo, GM, brother. It's nice to kind of be back. I got delayed. My flight was like, I didn't know if I was gonna come home that day. They're like, we're gonna sit on the tarmac for like 2 hours, and like we don't know if we're gonna take off because of the weather. But they found us like a 10-minute window, and I was able to get home. But yeah, man, the conference was like, it was kind of funny because like we're kind of like hungry, so we're leaving our Airbnb, and we went over there for say, look, there'll probably be food there. We'll get lunch. So we literally went there, got some. Actually, the food was actually pretty good, and I think you had some of it too. And so we took it. We had some food, and like we stayed for like half an hour, and it's like, this, yeah, let's get out of here. It's so bad.
I will tell you, that was awesome to walk into NFT NYC and go do the registration thing. And then, yeah, dude, it was some solid Chinese food. I had some, it was like some glass noodles, something. There was fried rice and then like General Tso chicken. And what was really cool is that the timing of when I got there, it was nostalgia for me all the way. You guys know, if you know my history, I was a big Metaverse geek a little bit ago. I was too early on the Metaverse train, way too early. But anyway, and again, you talk about years past and NFTs and all that stuff and Metaverse. And so when I got there, I did my registration. I got my plate of Chinese food. I went over to the main stage and sat down, and it was a conversation about the Metaverse. And it was such an enjoyable moment. And I shared it all to myself. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was. I wish I could have seen it in its like glory days, but yeah, this was kind of like subpar. It was just kind of quiet. Like they had some cool stuff, the cool booths and stuff like that. But again, overall, like compared to like the Futures conference, like I feel like the Futures conferences had way more people than this one.
Which is wild to even think, because again, years past, again, this thing's at the Marriott Marquis. I remember, man, this was the year that we did all the Lazy Lion stuff. Was it 2021, maybe something like that? And it was like lines out the door of the marquee to even get in for registration. And once you got past registration, to even start seeing stuff as far as, booths and networking and all that, there was a line for about 45 minutes. And they were like, people would walk up. That's where you would get free t-shirts and all that stuff, because we're like, oh, we got to entertain all these people in the line. Dude, it was just not even close to that. But I feel like once we get the retail back, as you heard me say, if you really think about what we know and what we do with NFTs right now is very retail centric, and retail's not here right now. They will come back at some point, but not right now. And so I think maybe in a year and a couple years from now, NFT NYC will be like the years past, not a replay of this year. But who knows? I mean, who really knows, right?
I think like retail is mostly driven by FOMO, and you don't get FOMO until you have price go up.
Dude, I mean, seriously, like you got to think. Okay, let's look at Bitcoin. I will pull up the Bitcoin chart right now. If you are watching the live stream, oh man, I forgot to do this. Let's go. Need that. There we go. We had that up, and now I want to switch to this one. So now you can see the charts, and let's go to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's sitting at $107,000 right now. Now, actually, holy shit, today we are dipping hard. Why are we dipping?
We're just bouncing around in this. We're in like I have it in this huge on the daily, a huge symmetrical triangle. Symmetrical triangles usually break to the downside, but we kind of did and went back in. So maybe we're just getting tight in the end of this triangle. I think by July 5th is like the end of this triangle.
Okay. And I said, why are we dipping today? I was actually on the 15-minute chart. So we're on this daily chart. Let's take a look at this. We wicked up and we were at 108,666, and we are currently down to 107. We're probably going to drop below 106, but I think we'll be all right. You got some other coins like Ondo. Press and hold to see detailed very short. Got it. Okay, get off there. We're down to 75.61 on Ondo. VeChain down to almost 2 cents. That's got to be the deal of a lifetime. Dropped below 2 cents actually last week. Whew, look at that. Wow. Think we're coming back soon?
So I'm just hoping that we have altcoin season before futures in November, so we can have a big fucking way off party with all our money.
Yes. All right, let's take a look at that, because I posted something this morning. Let me turn off some of these indicators so it's a little bit easier to see this. If we look at dominance still creeping up, guys. Like, historically speaking, we've got to see this hit 70%, 71%, and then drop down to 50, 45, 40%, something like that. So there has to be a huge trigger to go from, again, 70% down. And that has been what causes altcoin season 3 times historically. So let's prepare. And if we were to accurately take a look, and we can draw. I'll go full screen on here for you guys so you can see this. And let's move this. So there's our 70%. Here's the end of the year right here. This is the beginning of January. So this line, if you guys are watching the stream, this dotted red line right here is the end of the year. So if we've got until the end of this year for any kind of a bull run, which I think a lot of people can build the case for this thing pulling into 2026, which is a-okay with me. But if, say, we've got to have this bull run finished by the end of the year, we do have a little bit of time. We probably could get through July, maybe even in September, to continue seeing this thing kind of go up. But then once we get to that 70%, I mean, maybe it's in August, maybe it's in September, something like that. But once we get above that, then we'll have a few months, which it doesn't take long for that dominance to drop when it does drop like it's supposed to, right? So we would have plenty of time to get in and get out with a bull run in altcoin season, like most of us anticipate. Now, I would like to see an extended altcoin season, seeing as how we kind of got a little bit of the shaft end of the deal this time. I don't know what you guys think about that. I see Neil came up to the stage. What's up, my brother?
Really rough.
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
Good to be back. It is so good to be back.
I was just listening to what y'all were talking about the chart. I've kind of got a descending channel from on the 4 hour from kind of that last little pump up, and I got it extended out until September. The end of September is kind of what I was thinking, because everybody's like, "Oh, we got to get through the summer and then it'll go up." I don't know, man. The range is anywhere from 109 to 93, so no telling where we'll be, I guess.
You think we would slip back down to like the low 90s?
I don't know. I kind of find that hard to believe, but crazier things have happened.
Ain't that a fact? What do you think, Mike? Do you think we're going to see prices hold? Are we going to see more of a drop? Do you think, like, all right, we already got through the scares of World War III, like we should be good to hold now? Like, there shouldn't be like any other black swans that we should be facing. I know you can't plan for those, but I think we had our war.
So here's my bold prediction. I don't think we go under 100,000 for the rest of this bull market.
Okay, I like that. I'm sure a lot of people like that. A lot of people probably don't like that, though, also because they want, that chance to buy Bitcoin under 100,000, which you had so many freaking opportunities. And how many times you say buy the dip, and every time it did it, but you didn't do it. There's the memes. Literally, they have memes for that, right? Like, when Bitcoin's at 110,000, that's when everybody's lining up to buy it. But when it was below 100, when it was like 86,000 just a few weeks ago, like no one wanted it then. Crypto Cracker, my guy. What's up, fam?
Hey, how's it going, JChains? Been a while, buddy. I've been busy.
Yes, I do. Glad to hear from. Glad you're back. Yeah, it's been a crazy few weeks for me. We were talking. My wife and I were talking about this over the weekend. I feel like over the last month, I've been home for maybe like a week and a half. So it's good I feel you. Crazy busy schedule, but good to be home. Good to be back doing a show. I have missed you guys more than anything.
Well, I know I miss listening to your channel when you go live. So I know I think you haven't been on here as active as lately. So that sort of explains that. But they had the Bitcoin conference. You were there, weren't you?
Yep. Yeah. It was at so we did. I did Toronto. I did Vegas, and then just got back from a week in New York City doing permissionless and NFT NYC, and a lot of great networking. I'll tell you what, a lot of huge follow up to do. That's this week is a big follow up week, trying to figure out, make heads or tails out of all the networking, see if any of those turn into massive opportunities, because we definitely connected with the right people in certain opportunities. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think I wish I could get to all those things, but I just can't financially. I'm not able to. But yeah, I would love to go and network. Networking is a huge part of building any business. Honestly, that's where your connections are made.
Oh yeah, especially, and New York is a good one for that, because you get a lot of people who go to New York not for the conference at all, which was very, very clear if you looked at the attendance of either conferences that were going on versus just the sheer amount of events. And if you looked at videos or pictures, or you went to some of them, the amount of people that were there. I mean, I would say like you know, Nolcha is one of the event crews that they've been throwing parties at a lot of the conferences as of lately, and they draw a good crowd, and it's always a good environment, a good atmosphere. And I would tell you, like, that singular party or networking event, however you want to classify them, had more people in attendance than, say, NFT NYC did, you know, on a particular day, which is crazy. And maybe I could be off. I don't actually have the attendance numbers, so you know, I just from a visual of what you saw. That's all. Which is crazy to think, but yeah, that's where the activity's at. That's where, you know, they always say, like, you know, the deal's done at the hotel lobby bar. The deal is done at these satellite networking events. And so I definitely saw a lot of people that I know that didn't even think about getting tickets to the conferences. But you know, I got the media passes to do some coverage and stuff, so you know, it's different. And you know, that to me is really important. Plus, I actually really do enjoy the conferences. I know most people don't like. And it was, so when I say that they were set up a little bit differently this year, where you know, they weren't booth centric, where you go into the conference hall, you can go booth to booth and talk to people, see what's happening, shake some hands and all that stuff. I mean, you could still do that, but it was just set up a little differently. You had to be a little bit more creative with, you know, your conversation building and all that stuff. But definitely still a great time. If you've never been to an IRL crypto Web3 NFT event, like, you got to just figure out, even if it's just a small little thing, a meetup or something in your local area. I mean, those are the kind of events that can change the course of, you know, how you participate in Web3 crypto, all that stuff. So get a chance, go.
100%, dude.
I mean,
And just growing, even growing on X, like just meeting the people that you've been chatting with online, like, you know, they're more likely to, you know, converse with you and engage with you on your X and everything you do. You just build this like trust network, because when you see people, you know, in person and have real conversations with them in person, you just build this trust network of people that want to work with.
definitely. It's just the synergy is always different. And, you know, we've all talked about this before, where, you know, you actually get the chance to look into someone's eyes when you have a conversation with them. And as, you know, a lot of us are probably more perceptive than, you know, maybe most or whatever. And so when you get that opportunity to look into someone's eyes and have a conversation, and you get more of a, you know, a heartfelt response, or you can understand if someone's bullshitting with you, like, you know, you can tell that better than whether it's just on a Twitter space or on a Zoom call, or you know, in a Telegram chat, or you know, whatever it may be. And so super important. I think it's probably, if you're trying to build a career, if you're trying to be a project founder, if you're trying to really do anything in this space, it's probably one of the most important things that you can do to help grow yourself and your network, for sure. So get out to those IRL events.
I did want to mention something about Bitcoin with what Neil
please
was
do.
saying. I agree with them there. It's in sort of a descending wedge. It's more of a channel, not so much as a wedge, but just from what I've looked at back on May the 21st, when we hit the peak, it was at 112 before it corrected. When it corrected, it came down and it touched 100K before it went back up 4 days later and hit 110. So there's sort of a trend here going on. And then when it came back down after hitting 110K, which was June 10th, it came down and it tested 99. So, you know, about $1,000 less than when it previously hit the low. But now it's back up to 108, and it just hit 108, and it's rejecting that trend line again. So it hit 112, then it hit 110, then it hit 108. So if it's following this, which is honestly, I don't know if it's going to come back down. It's tested it twice. It's testing it a third time now, but it's not having as big of a correction as the last two times that it tested 112 and 110. I sort of expected a bigger correction. I think that's just the longs with leverage, people taking profit, but I don't think it's as much profit taking as it was when it hit 112 or 110. So I'm just curious to see what's going to happen here over the next couple of days, if it's going to try to move back up and break above this trend line.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Taking a look at the and again, this is the chart that I'm looking at is the Bitcoin perpetual futures over on Femex. But you know, if you were to take a look at that, you look from May 22nd. Let's go May 22nd, where we topped out, like you say, at about 112. You know, we have not made a higher high since then, and in fact, we're making lower lows. We're making lower highs and lower lows. So we are definitely, like you said, in a channel, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I expect, like I said, the futures, when I look at the futures, there's not as much profit taking. Of course, that can change in the drop of a hat. Today's not, the time period's not over. We still have hours before.
Absolutely. I mean,
so.
and looking at this, I mean, and you could make a case on bodies and wicks. We like to say, from wicks to sticks, all that stuff. So, you could make a case that if we come back down, if we revisit the bottom of this, that puts us like right about 100,000. But if time continues to go on, we could drop below 100 and just stay in this channel without breaking structure, without, really causing too many red flags. I think if we go down, again, we could hit about, the mid 99s. But I think a lot of people would like to see the structure break to the upside very soon. But
yeah, I know. Just from laying it out from when it hit its high to its low in this descending trend line, I have it setting at 97.7 is what I have it on based on the time frames, on the data from the high of 112 to the low of 101 to the high of 110 to the low of 99. I've set out the time frames and then I've just sort of cloned those, and that's what it's saying right now. But that's, we don't know at this point whether or not that's going to happen. But if it comes down and tests that, it's showing 106 on that trend line for the next high, lower high.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you one thing. End of July is the next FOMC meeting, and if they have 2 rate cuts already like guaranteed for this year, I could definitely see one in July and then maybe July and December or sometime in the fall. So I think July is when they start the pivot.
I mean, I think at some point they got it. I mean, the first one has to go at some point, right? And I think quarter 3, the beginning of quarter 3, it would be great if it happens. At the next meeting. When is the next meeting? You said?
I think it's the 28th or 29th of July. But honestly, if they don't cut, then I'm gonna start to believe that this market might extend into Q1 of 2026.
Let's see. I'm gonna go to the CME. What is it?
Yeah, that's a valid point, because if the rate cuts hit, and the money printer starts up, it's very possible that if Bitcoin does go down and we see that next move up where it's showing it's targeting 106, we could break above at that point. If we don't break above here in the next few days, which is a good possibility.
That might just be the start of altcoin season, and then as altcoins rise, it might just drag off Bitcoin up with it, right?
We can't see in my opinion, we can't see altcoin season until you see the dominance hit 70%. Now I go, history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. It's done it 3 times. And so we're at 65% now, I think another squeeze of 5% on the market to get that up there is doable. Let's take a look. I just went to CME Group. If you do the Fed Watch now, 80.9% that we stay at the 425 to 450 for rates, 19.1% that we drop to the 400, 425. So we could see that a little bit of a basis point reduction, just under 20% right now. So I'm gonna screenshot this. We'll post this up, and then we'll keep a watch on this over the next couple of weeks.
Can we put this on Polymarket and take bets?
Yes.
Yeah. I think as long as we don't break back below the 200, we'll be fine here in the short term. I mean, really, that's the main thing, right? If we right now we're above it, and I think if we could stay above 106.7 for the daily, and that's for people who are trading short term. Obviously, long term it's still going to take a while for us to go up.
You bring up a good point there, JChains, on the Bitcoin dominance, right? If you look at the Bitcoin dominance on the chart, and you go all the way back to 2017, I mean, there's sort of a trend line that can be laid out there. I'm just curious to see what happens, because if it goes up and touches that trend line, it's going to touch it at 72 to 73% in Bitcoin dominance. And if we look back in the history, back in March of 21, when altcoin season did hit, it was at 72.61, and then bam, it dropped, and that's when altcoins exploded. So, and that's when everyone was like in euphoria at that moment, because everything was just going haywire up. It was crazy. So I'm with you on that. I sort of agree. I feel like it has to move up right before altcoins can actually send. And if that's the case, then there's still more downside to altcoins. Unfortunately, that's just what that's just what I see.
Same,
charts.
and it sucks, right? Because most of us, if you look at the charts, you zoom out just about everything. Some things, maybe have performed a little bit different than others. But if you look at the charts from December, I mean, we've been going down, and you heard the people say like, "The still with the sell in May and walk away." It's like at that point, we've been going down for 4.5 months straight. If you're still if you hadn't sold before May to walk away, like you're basically a moron because you're down 70%. Why are you selling now to walk away? Like that was silly. But so I think, when you start to look at that, the pummeling and understand that unfortunately is what has to happen before altcoin season, because we're not supposed to get rich, guys. I don't know if you know this, like we're not supposed to make money. They don't want us to. And so they're going to beat us up as much as they can. They're going to prolong this. They're going to extend the bear markets. They're going to make sure that it hurts and that, things get tight and only the strong survive here. And that's how they want it, right? It's the haves and the have-nots. It's not, hey, let's everybody get rich kind of a deal. So I fully expect, and it sucks, and I hate it more than anybody probably, is that we do have to see one more push down, one to get that 5% that we need, but two to cause that max pain. We still have not seen. I still think that we need $20,000 Bitcoin candle days. We need one of those. We need that kind of rocky volatility to really start shaking shit up. It's kind of been, I know that we've had some ups and downs. We've had some good days and some bad days, but we have not had that extreme volatility that we should expect. It's got to be coming.
See, this is like the whole mind fuck, because you have to detach emotion from money, and the problem is the people that are on the lowest social economic status have more emotion from money because they need it more to survive. So this is the whole thing. You have to detach and take the risk, because when you take the risk, you get paid, and that's why the system is designed against. It's designed for people that take risk, and against the people that don't.
Fortunately, you are correct, sir.
I will say one thing. It's this. I'll be honest. I mean, 4 years ago when I was in the market, I didn't know the information I know now. And in reviewing what I see now in the history from the last altcoin season to now, it's a little. I think it's different. I really do. I think everything is just. I think everyone understands that part. I think the whole market is just going through a different change, especially with Bitcoin and all the news that's being released. But before we seen the big rise up, it wasn't. I wouldn't say altcoin season, but back in May, I mean, we seen some of the altcoins go up. I think it was like 40% from hitting a low. Like I'm looking at one Polkadot right here, hit a low 330 and it hit a high of $5.40. So it went up quite a bit, but I think the majority of altcoins seen that. And I'm seeing the same trend right now in the last 2 weeks play out with altcoins. It's making a higher low, and it's using the point of control and the volume profile as support. So, and I'm seeing that. So what that tells me is altcoins could rise, and if altcoins rise temporarily a little bit, and we see this same momentum, I don't say it's going to be the altcoin season, but it could see and lift Bitcoin up to break above this trend line, and that could very well happen here within the next 2 weeks. So there's some data there to support this.
I love that, man. Anything. Listen, you all know me. I love smoking hopium, right? I am a mega bull. I would always not err on the side of being bullish, but that's why I don't short. I would never short, unless like we are in a full on bear market. Like I'm not going to short anything because there's no upside to it, because I am extremely bullish. And I think anytime that we can start to build a case and we can look at these things and unequivocally say like, hey, look, like this is, even though like, we're still kind of feeling stagnant, we're still kind of pissed off, or, crypto's boring and all this. I made a post yesterday, you see BitMart listing Homer Simpson coin. Like to me at this point, when I'm going to air quote credible exchanges, when these exchanges are promoting the fact that they're listing these dog shit coins that literally do nothing for society, they do nothing for finance, they do nothing but try to steal your liquidity because of the pump and dump schemes, like you kind of get like frustrated with this stuff, and you understand like, we really need to make a better name for our ecosystem right now, because you've heard me talk about this, and I'm actually hearing, not that I feel like some of these big time players are listening to what I say. I feel like it's just, this is the understanding now. Cause I heard like there was like something I want to say, even David Schwartz, so Joel Katz, if you know his ad here from XRP, he was on a panel with Nathan of Ondo and Christine Moy of Apollo, and it was just it was crazy to hear some of these guys say literally the same stuff that have heard me saying, you know, how we've gone from a movement to the financial ecosystem, right? So like when we talk about like where we are and where we're going and how things should look, like, yeah, I mean, I'm not the police of crypto by any stretch of the imagination. And do I like meme coins? Absolutely. And do I like being a degen? 100%. But when you have these major exchanges starting to promote these shit coins still doing this, like when we're trying to like step up, you know, what this ecosystem looks like, it's just crazy to me. And, you know, I get there will always be the underbelly of crypto, just like in normal society. We've got places like Vegas, we've got places like Beale Street, Bourbon Street, Atlantic City, all that stuff. Like that's degen haven for the real world. That's what the meme coin casino is going to be like for the digital financial ecosystem. And so like that's totally fine. However, I feel like we can't have the major exchanges participate in that. And I know it's, you know, to each their own and all that stuff, but we've got to clear up the perception of what we're doing here. But, you know, again, I'm not the police and no one gives a shit about what I think,
agree.
but that's just how I feel.
No, you're right. You're right on the money, JChains. I agree with everything you just stated, man. With you.
So we're gonna have to build our own alliance. I know all the institutions are building their alliances, coming together. Where are we at with that? We've been here for years, man. Like, you know, we've been the one, you know, we are the media. We are the people who have said the truthful shit. We know we're not like Jamie Dimon, who's been fucking lying behind his teeth like for years, saying Bitcoin's poison, just like everyone else has, yet they're buying it in the background. We've been screaming about it positively for years. Where are we at?
The Pizza Alliance.
Stuff, man. That's the thing. Once we start using it, I mean, that's supposed to be the whole deal, right? But in the meantime, all these people losing all this money, the average person, most, you know, like they say, what, 97% of people lost money on pump fund. I mean,
Yeah,
we got to get away from it, man. We got to get away from it. Everybody's got to quit just giving people their money.
It's crazy. Like when I did see that same statistic, it's like there was like less than 100 wallets that made out with more than $10,000 on pump.fun, like some crazy number. It's like, okay, so you guys understand, like that's how much people lose in that game. Like maybe you should back off because you're not going to win. You're not going to win. You might pull out a soul here and there and you're like, oh shit, I actually didn't lose money this time. You know what I mean? Like that's how we all feel. Like it's time for just like, and I'm gonna say, like with NFTs, kind of the whole, we got crazy with the degenerate or the degenerative trait. The generative trait NFT ecosystem kind of got way out of control. You had all the derivatives, you had all the ripoffs, you had all that bullshit pop up. You know, at this point now, what we think is like you pull everything back, you'd go back to the drawing board, which I feel like the NFT ecosystem is doing right now. I just told you, like NFT NYC was barren, right? Well, maybe it's time for the whole ecosystem in itself to mature and grow up. And like we've been talking about, you know, like our first touch point with NFTs was the beta test. It was to see, how does it work? Can we handle it? Did we figure it out? Let's go back, and now we, you know, cars on the blockchain, deeds to houses on the block, all that stuff, and they're represented as NFTs. Your gym club, your smoothie pass, all that stuff becomes an NFT. That's where we're going. And so maybe it's time for, you know, crypto is doing the same thing, where we had our final little hoorah with meme coin season, and we added 2 million tokens to the pile. But now tokenization, you know, bringing finance on chain, that's where this needs to go. And, you know, maybe the degen's got one last chance in the Wild West, baby, before it's over. Who knows? Mike, what you got?
Well, I was going to change the subject, but I actually want to piggyback off what you just said. Like, kind of reminds me of, you know, different uses for NFTs. Like, look what, like, you know, what Carrie's talking about. Yes, NFTs that are like tied to Bitcoin miners that can earn everybody a yield. So, like, just real world assets and tokenizing things that people can have. Instead of owning one thing, they can have like a share of it, and they can earn and distribute the rewards or the yield that it makes across the board to all the holders. So I think that's really important. And what I was going to say about changing the subject is you got called out in a fight, actually.
I did.
So like I saw that, and I don't know if you saw my post. I said you can just shred him like the pepperoni in the Windsor style pizza. I hope they got the joke, because I don't know if they know Windsor. But,
I love that. Yeah. Harley, he called me out. And actually, the crypto fight night, main account, put it out there. So who knows where I think, we wanted to try to run this one in Singapore, but maybe we'll run it in Miami. Maybe I get my hands on another fight in Singapore, because I really, really want to get there and knock someone's face in. So hopefully we can make that happen. But I'll tell you what, Harley, he's a homie. But he is way too rigid. He's not flexible. He's not loose. He he's literally like a stick with arms and legs. And so I don't think like that's going to be a very hard challenge, because a couple pops to the side of the head and he'll be done. His face, his nose, all broken. Let's go.
Hey, you said you needed a win, so there you go.
Yep. That's true. It's time for one of those.
If you do it in Miami, I'm coming, man. If you do it in Miami, I'm coming.
Well, so I think the plan, I want to run both. I want to do a 2-fight contract, so we'll see. If we do it in Miami against Harley, great. I would love for all of y'all to be there. That would be fantastic. That would be a lot of fun. Now, really quick, going back to one of the things that you were saying there, Mike. Here, let me bring you up here. One of the things that you were saying there is tying NFTs to real life IRL businesses and stuff. And I've had a chance to talk to someone who I really admire their work as an artist in the space and creativity and stuff. And so my goal is to start launching some NFTs with collections that are tied specifically to IRL businesses, where I think we have to figure out the correct like wording, nomenclature for some of the stuff, like not reward structures, or you get like a rev share or a dividend payout or something like that, but that's the whole idea, right? And so building kind of like these concepts in the background, and I definitely need to figure out some of the things as far as the legalities of securities and stuff, because I do know it was about maybe a month and a half ago, there was something that came out. The SEC has said, and Hester Peirce said, we prefer at this point for Web3 startups to use NFTs for fundraising, financing, all that stuff of their companies and buildings, rather than a token, right? It's just that appeals to them more as a non-security than a coin. And so I love that. So that's my whole goal, is to really ramp that activity up. And so be on the lookout for that. I definitely am going to need to build like the squad, because we're going to have to start with like the promotion and kind of the awareness and stuff leading up to this in advance. And so anybody that wants to participate in that, a lot about kind of the organization of skills and NFTs and all that stuff, holler at me, let me know. I've got some questions, and I know I did get a chance to connect with some folks in New York that are big into that kind of stuff. And so there are several people that I want to talk to about getting opinions. So if you've got an opinion, get at me, dog. Let's go.
Dude, what you said like just blew my mind, because it was like, imagine like a dividend stock just being totally replaced by an NFT. Because the problem with stocks right now is the company can do a stock split, they can make more stocks and make yours less valuable. So imagine having this this supply controlled on the blockchain. You can verify that you own that stock, because it has your hash, just like what you get from blockchain. And they can't do any of those stock splits and whatever. And it's the same idea. The company makes revenue, and then it distributes all the revenue to the shareholders or the NFT holders. I think that can totally replace dividend stocks nowadays.
100%. And like, that's the incentive, right? To be, whether you want to be considered an early backer, an investor, or just a believer, whatever it is, and however the everything's all set up, I think that's the goal. That's the move. I'm definitely looking forward to doing that. I want to start pulling the trigger on some of these things. So again, let's set up I'm going to set up a little group for some of us that are going to be playing a larger role in that. If that is something you're listening, even if you're one of the people watching the live stream, which by the way, smash the like button, tag some friends, get them in here to come watch this video. And if you want to participate, if you are watching the stream and you want to participate in the space chat, you are more than welcome to. Just join us. That's it. So yeah, we got to move forward with that. It's time to move forward with that. And that's going to be fun. And that's a part of, you guys have like, so, I got in earlier in the show, I was telling you, like, I missed the shit out of you guys, missed the shit out of doing these shows, obviously trying to build a long-term revenue generating business with this media company. And so putting a big focus on that over the last couple of weeks. And so that is going to be something that we do. Also, we're going to have the creative studio where we'll do some NFTs, again, tied to real life businesses, all that stuff. You guys get to earn something. I don't know what it is. I don't even know if I should say anything yet, but So that's the plan. That's the move. So if you want to get in on the ground floor. Let's go. But I'm glad to be back doing these shows. I'll tell you what. Even though it's just the first one, I shouldn't have pluralized it. I'm glad to be back to the show. Thanks for being here.
You're back.
What do you say, Neil?
I said we're glad you're back as well.
Hey. What's everybody got going on here this week?
Man, 4th of July is burgers, hot dogs, and beer.
I know. I saw my guy Doom come up to the stage, and I know this guy bought listen, a lot of us think we're cool when we go to the fireworks display and you get a little, oh, I got a little Roman candle, or, oh, dude, we got 1 box of mortars. We're going to kill it, bro. This guy he bought a pallet of fucking fireworks. This is my guy Doom.
Dude. So every year, I have a military buddy with me. Me and him go in on fireworks because I swear to God, we're not like, I think we just like watching shit explode. But anyway, I'm sure you guys have seen, I always post the fucking videos from last year with the mortar boards and shit, right? So like, I'll try to build like some mortar boards and stuff. So I got 252 mortar boards, right? So I have to have a bare minimum for like, when I do my little grand finale at the end, I got to have like a bare minimum of 100 mortars. So we always try to buy wholesale because wholesale is so much fucking cheaper, dude. So like here in Shreveport, Louisiana's high, like taxes are high, all that fun shit or whatever. Dude, the cheapest you can buy like at stores, like a box of fucking 24 fucking 5-inch mortars is $150. Where I got 4 cases for, I think it was $349. You know what I mean? So I got 2 of those cases. I found a 668 shot Roman candle. It's called a Gatling gun. Looked pretty cool. So I got a case of 9. Saturn. So like I'm also the dude. So like, all right. So in some sense, I'm respectful with my neighbors, but I'm really not. Like, I won't shoot fireworks off past like 10:30, right? You know what I mean? Because everybody's got to sleep and shit. Because dude, we blow up all day, and I'm pretty sure people get annoyed. So, but like I do it stupid. Like I always buy the Saturn missiles because they're annoying. My favorite thing to fucking do is like, so we'll do like our grand finale. It takes like maybe 20 minutes at the end, right? Like we get all these little cakes and displays and shit. It's like hood fireworks, dude, because I kind of live in the hood, right? So like I own the hood. I'm the alpha in the hood when it comes to fireworks. Like I win. All right, it's the whole point of the 4th of July. All right, I am the alpha. But what I'll do is I'll do the display. And then I'll have a 16,000 roll black cat. And I roll it down the fucking street. And so after everybody's like, all right, it's done, I light it. And then 20 minutes.
Oh man, that's funny. What was the weight of your pallet shipment? Was over 500 pounds, right?
Yes, yeah, 530 pounds, dude. And so we got 15% off on that. So I put in it's like, dude, when you go in with friends, you know what I mean? Like, let's say if you got like big property, right? Like Neil, you own a farm, right? Like, dude, if you went in with your friends, dude, like you could get a few $1,000s worth of fireworks if you get everybody on board, And I mean, crap, dude, that was the biggest. I think the biggest that we spent in the neighborhood was COVID. We spent $4,500 total between like 6 of us. You know what I mean? Just to blow up fireworks, you know what I mean? And it's just like everybody had like a good year making some extra money, you know what I mean? So it was like, fuck it, it's the only time I really go all out with like money is during New Year's and 4th of July, so but yeah, dude, 530 pounds, 1 pallet, man. I mean, that's crazy, dude. It's just ridiculous.
That's crazy. That's you. That's the USA. That's America right there. Freedom, baby.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Yep, but that's my weekend, and then I go on vacation. Driving to Daytona Beach. Neil, I might stop by your place I'm probably on the way back. Or I'm going to hit you up on the way back because I'll be driving through your area, and I'm supposed to meet up with Gringo. So I guess he's going to be in Daytona Beach on the 9th. So me and him are going to hook up. We're going to drink some beer on the beach.
Heck yeah, dude. That's awesome. He's actually... and then he's going to be headed to the Beeple studio. There's a thing going on at Beeple studio like shortly after that. And he said he was passing through here and he got himself a hotel at the next town over. So we're going to kick it for a night while he's passing through. And then actually got a ticket I got two tickets to go see that. It's Beeple Punk's 2.0 thing at his studios like July 9th or something like that. So I think Win and I are going to drive up there.
Oh, dude, that's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, man, I'm excited, dude. I haven't met anybody yet here, like in real life yet. You know what I mean? So I might be able to knock out too. Neil, you're just gonna have to, man. It's just I already called you out on it, so you just gotta you're gonna have to meet me somewhere. Probably, like I said, probably on the way back, dude, because I'll take 20 back, and you probably live off of 20, so that's where I live off of. But anyway,
Yeah,
yeah,
just holler at me, man. I'll be around. We'll catch a beer or something.
yep. I'll get a hold of you. So.
Wait, what date? Wait, what did you say you were coming back?
So the only time I'd be like, if I was gonna hook up with you, right? I leave on the 7th. I'm probably not gonna hook up with you on the 7th because I got a 12-hour drive. So whatever, you know what I mean? Got to go stop at Buc-ee's once I hit, Florida, all that fun stuff. It's gonna be on the way back, so it'll probably be on the 13th. It'll probably be towards like dinnerish time is probably when I'll be headed back, or like the afternoon.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'll be out of town the next week, so we're good. Just holler at me.
Yep, we'll do. What are you doing, JChains? What do you got planned? You got anything planned for the 4th?
Man, I actually don't know at this moment. I think we've got some things in our town. We always go to the parade downtown Woodstock here, and then I think there's like a day event going on. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
but yeah, just celebrating, hanging out. I made the joke about the dude who buys a box of mortars thinking he's a badass. Well, my fucking neighborhood hates when one of those things go off. So me shooting off 10 makes me feel like a king. So that's gonna be me. I'll get a box of mortars, just one. My dog hates them. My wife hates them. The kids probably all hate them. There are the people so we live like in a normal like neighborhood where the houses are way too close to each other, but right behind us is more of like a more spread out kind of a thing. And that's one of those neighborhoods where somebody's got like 20, there's no HOA. I'll just say that they don't have an HOA behind us. And so that's where you get the guy who's shooting off fireworks on the 5th, 6th, and 7th of July because he still has a few more in the chain.
That sounds like me, but I usually try to do all mine before. So like people have already started shooting off fireworks here. I've been hearing them, like the last 2 nights. I'll probably start shooting off stuff here probably, I'd say Tuesday, probably tomorrow.
You gotta start test the waters, right? You got to see a little product, see what you got.
And I do tell everybody too, because so it's kind of weird, man. Like for me, because I like to do the fireworks. Like I think that's like for the holidays, that's my favorite. Like where I feel like a kid, dude. It's like, look at all these fireworks, whatever, right? And if I don't do it, I will not be in my neighborhood on July 4th. Like I don't like I don't know why. Maybe it's because like I feel like I said, I feel like it's an alpha thing, dude. Like when I hear other people blowing off fireworks and I'm not, I'm like little kid, like, yeah, fuck you, dude. Like, I don't even want to be around here. Like, I don't know why I get like that, but I get like that. But I will tell my neighbors, like, I'll walk around and be like, hey, just letting you guys know we are doing the 4th. You know what I mean? So then they're like, okay. I always give them, hey, we're doing it.
A little bit of a warning. That's good. I think that's so funny about if they're not my fireworks, I'm not listening.
I don't know why. I'm not really like that about anything except for that. Like, I don't know. It's just weird.
July 4th, the day where all the Karens of the HOAs come out.
Hey, if you need my fireworks show, you just let me know. I can halt. Like, if you guys want your neighborhood pissed off, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have to do it at your place, but if anybody here wants some fireworks, I'm more than willing to drive.
That's actually a really good. It's actually a really good business idea. Like, do you have an HOA president that you hate? Like, do you just despise your HOA and you want to like tick them off? Hire Doom for your 4th of July. I guess you could probably do it at any point. I think if you do it on not the 4th of July, you really get some attention there.
Yep. On the 3rd or like you said, or the 5th, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell, so but
there you go. I love that. Yeah. So that's what we got going on this week, man. I didn't even realize that got the 4th of July. What day is it? On Friday?
Yeah, it's a Friday.
Okay. So is everybody? So let me ask you a question. Like, I can't even think the last time that we didn't celebrate on a weekend, right? Do we celebrate? Are they always on the weekend?
I think it moves. I think it moves with the calendar. You know what I mean? Because like with that holiday, I mean, dude, that moves through the week. You know what I mean? Like every year it's different. So
I'm sorry. I guess I didn't clarify that. Like when we do like the parades and all this, the 4th of July is like a federal holiday, right? So it's like everything's shut down and it's on that day. It's not like Halloween where we're like, oh, we're gonna do trick or treating on Saturday so that you don't affect anybody's evening.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because like I get I should have a 4-day weekend, on the military side. So I always like it when any of the federal holidays fall on a Thursday or a Friday. You know what I mean? That's when the government's like, you know what, 4-day holiday. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, cool, man. I'll have all that.
Or if it falls on a Monday, you can take Thursday and Friday off, or Friday and Tuesday. It just depends.
Exactly. So yeah, it's one of those.
Boom. All right. Let's go.
Dude,
what is everybody?
Think about it. It's going to be Pizza Friday and the 4th of July. Like, how more American can you get?
You know what I was just gonna? Literally, that's crazy that you say that because it didn't even, man. I feel like I probably need more coffee because it didn't occur to me. I was about to ask you guys, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be grilling now? Like, what's everybody doing for the 4th of July? But everybody's got to have pizza. This might be a first.
Yeah. Honestly, like for me, for my situation, so like, because I'm going on vacation so soon, I wasn't even gonna plan on doing the 4th this year because like I have money set aside. We haven't been on vacation in like 2 years, so like I have my cash set out. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is my spending money for vacation, and so like I wasn't going to do the 4th at all. I was just gonna go to like somebody else's house, like not like I said, not be in my neighborhood. And then we got our government bonuses a little early, and I'm like, oh well, looks like I'm doing the 4th, but I told people because I'm spending so much money on the fireworks, dude, I don't want to fucking cook. Like I hate trying to cook and then shoot off fireworks. You know what I mean? Like I like hosting, but like I don't want to cook and shoot off fireworks. You know what I mean? So I might go the route of pizza. I'm just fucking order pizza or you know what I mean? Like we all chip in pizza, boom, easy.
Red,
done.
white, and blue
You know what I mean?
pizza. We got to have to figure that out. I don't know how we do it, but we're doing it. And just in case anybody's wondering, and now your birth year is going to be different than mine, which is A-OK. But since 1982, that's the year that I was born, we have had 6 4th of Julys that have fallen on a Friday. It's been 86. So 86, 97, 2003, 2008. The last one was 2014. And now this year, 2025.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is, hey, Pizza Friday on the 4th of July, very rare. So
yeah, we're gonna have to do something, man. We're gonna have to do something with us here. You know what I mean? We definitely need to, for at least on Twitter, we gotta get them pizza shots in. You know what I'm saying? The pictures.
My gosh, heavens, yes. Grilled pizza.
That's important.
Everybody, you got to make the pizzas on your Blackstones or flat tops, whichever one you got. Let's get it. It's Friday.
Heck yeah,
a big one.
You're doing your shows throughout the whole week? That's what you were talking about, right? Like, are you trying to do a show every day again? Right now,
we are back, baby. We are back.
Okay. So then Friday morning, man, it's gonna be a good time. Friday morning on the 4th. It'll be a good show.
Now, you know what? I do know in years past, there was probably the first year that we were here. So we're in Woodstock, Georgia now. So this is our 3rd year here. So I think it was the first year that we were here. I did do the show from the parade downtown. I know that it was slightly obnoxious, extremely hard to hear, but I did it. Depending on time, the parade. Now that we're doing the show back to 10, and this is something I'm very excited about. Is originally the show was at 10, and then we moved it to 9 for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. And then it was always, I had a lot of people complaining that it was just too early, especially in different time zones. And so fuck it, let's go back. We're back at 10. So we'll see what happens on Friday and timing and all that stuff. But we'll definitely do something. At least we'll connect and talk pizza and do that kind of stuff on Friday. But as the week goes on, we'll probably have a better idea of what to do and try to get some big guests and line some things up throughout the week and have some fun, talk about some cool things. Nothing crazy. I know you guys don't want to learn shit in the morning, and that's A-OK. We just like to have fun. So,
hell yeah.
All right. I appreciate you, all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Me.
Have a great day.
Y'all too. I'm gonna let you out a few minutes early. I know in case everybody's got to go to the bathroom before they got their next call or next thing at 11. So give you a few minutes to go get yourself a snack. I need one myself. I'm ready for a snack. So And by snack, I mean a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Dude, how often do you go rating your kids' snacks?
Pretty good. I call it the
Totally do.
daddy tax, especially if she's getting into something that I really like. I might take a 50% daddy tax. It depends.
That's steep right there.
I know. I try to keep it to a minimum, but like if it was here, if she has like 3 Oreos in her hand, I'm definitely taking at least one of them. You know what I mean? Like I'm not getting a half of an Oreo. Although what she likes to do is this is crazy. My daughter is 3.5, and she has never seen anyone twist an Oreo and like eat the filling. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't like a thing. We don't eat Oreos that much, but I know like every now and then, like we may have something or she'll get it, whatever. And that's how she eats them. It's just the strangest thing. It's like it's in her brain. That's what she's got to do. And so sometimes what I get is the cookies with no filling, which is okay. That's fine with me. Some dry ass chocolate cookies. Anyway. All right. Well, I think this is the end of the road for us today. Now we will listen. There aren't like I'm not going to cap it like specifically, moving forward. If we're going to do an hour and a half, all that stuff, I think it's all situational. We'll have some fun, but make sure you guys do tune back in tomorrow at 10 a.m. Web3 Breakfast is back. We'll have some fun. We'll talk about markets. We'll talk about things that are happening. We'll shoot the shit, have a good time. That is the point. So make sure you guys smash the like button on your way out of here. Do the things you got to do. Tag some friends. We will be back tomorrow. So I think that's it, right? Ciao for now. Mi amigos.
Deuces.
See you tomorrow.